Hey students, today we're going to go through a lesson about determining the theme of a story. Our learning target is that we will be using details in the text to identify the theme of a story. It will help you understand the story's important message or lesson. And this goes with our standard for literature, standard 2. We'll be reading today from Sir Ivaine by Maud L. Radford in the book King Arthur and His Knights. And this is an excerpt, which is like a little part of the story. This story is a legend. The term legend can be defined as a story that is passed from person to person, usually orally by a storyteller, and is about a heroic person or a fantastic place. The story often has some basis in truth about some historical event. So a few words that we're going to go over that you'll see in the story, and this will hopefully help you understand what those words mean. The first one is platform. Platform. A platform is a raised up space. Mount. Mount. Mount is a verb and it means to get on something. He mounts his horse. Courtesy. Courtesy. A courtesy is a nice, polite thing to do. Don't get confused with courtesy. This is courtesy. So it's got an extra syllable in there. Cease. Cease. Cease is another way to say stop. Mortally wounded. You might have heard that before in maybe some video games. Mortally wounded is you're hurt so bad that you're dying. Like this guy. He's dying. And you usually see this phrase in like talking about battles or maybe video games where people are, shooting each other, which I don't encourage you to play. And this is a new word I learned, portcullis. And I hope I'm saying that right, portcullis. It's an iron gate, and I see these a lot like in movies that have castles. And this is the iron gate that comes down, and so people cannot enter. Okay, let's get into our story, and remember the whole time we're thinking, what's the theme? What can we learn from this story? Among Arthur's Knights of the Round Table was one who was a mixture of good and bad, as indeed most people are. His name was Sir Ivaine, brave, kind-hearted, and merry, but at the same time fickle, sometimes forgetful of his promises, and inclined to make light of serious things. One night in the early spring, the knights and ladies of Arthur's court were sitting in the dining hall. Sir Ivaine was telling of his experience with the Black Knight. "It was when I was very young," he said. "Indeed, I had just been made a knight. Someone told me of the wicked Black Knight who lived, and still lives, in a wood a long way from here. Knowing that he did much evil, I determined to kill him. I rode to the wood where he lived, and in which I found a marble platform. In the middle of it was a sunken space holding a fountain. I walked to this, and following the directions of some writing which was on the stone, picked up a cup that lay at hand, and filling it with water, poured it into the fountain. Then a great storm of wind and rain arose, and when it was at its height, the Black Knight rode up and began to attack me. We fought for a little while, but he easily overthrew me. Thinking me dead, he rode back, leaving me on the ground. But after a time I was able to mount my horse and went back to my mother's castle." At this moment the king and queen entered, unperceived by anyone except Sir Ivaine. The young man, who was always polite, sprang to his feet, and then the other knights rose. Sir Kay, who was not always sweet-tempered, said to Sir Ivaine, "We all know that you are very polite, but you have more courtesy than bravery." At that, Sir Ivaine said, "I was almost a boy when the Black Knight overthrew me, but I could conquer him now." "It is very easy to say that after you have eaten, said Sir Kay. Almost any knight feels brave and self-satisfied when he's had a good supper of venison. The king asked what the conversation was about, and Sir Ivaine repeated the story of his adventure, adding, "And, Sir Kay, I crave your permission to set forth tomorrow to slay this black knight who is a pest in the land." "I have heard of this man," said the king, "and have often thought of sending someone to punish him. But he lives far away, and it has been necessary heretofore to right first the wrongs nearest home. Yet now his evil deeds and persecutions must cease. Tomorrow a company of us will set forth and conquer him and all his people." The king named some half-dozen of his knights, Sir Ivaine among them, who were to undertake this adventure. Sir Ivaine was displeased. He thought that the adventure should be his alone. So he rose in the middle of the night and stole away unattended, determined to go in advance of the others and kill the Black Knight. It did not occur to him that in proving to be himself brave, he was also proving himself disobedient. He rode forth in the darkness, humming merrily to himself. After many days of travel, Sir Ivaine reached the forest in the midst of which was the castle of the Black Knight. He rode to the platform of stone, and the Black Knight appeared. He recognized the armor of Sir Ivaine and said, "Aha! I see I did not kill you before, but you shall not escape me this time." "The best man shall win," said Sir Ivaine cheerfully. Then the two began a great combat. They fought so eagerly that they were not even aware of the storm. It was not long before the Black Knight began to grow weak from the many powerful and death-dealing strokes from Sir Ivaine's sword. At last, seeing that he was mortally wounded, the Black Knight turned his horse, and he galloped in the direction of his castle. Sir Ivaine followed, but he could not quite catch up with the Black Knight, although gaining on him inch by inch. By the time the castle moat was reached, Sir Ivaine was only 5 feet behind. The horses thundered one after the other over the bridge. Then Black Knight rode under the portcullis, or sharp iron gate, which was raised. The instant he was inside, the portcullis fell in order to shut out Sir Ivaine. But Sir Ivaine had already passed beneath it. He sprang to his feet and drew his sword to renew his attack upon the Black Knight. But he was already dead. Then Sir Ivaine realized what his recklessness had cost him. There he was, alone in a strange castle, the lord of which he had killed. Soon the people of the castle would come and capture him, for he could not escape, since the portcullis was down. To be continued. You'd have to read the whole book to find out what happens next. What is so interesting is that in the times when people lived in castles, the lord of the castle was the one in charge. So now that Sir Ivaine killed the main person in charge, everybody in there is just going to go kill Sir Ivaine, because they have to take care of their own family too. So on to our questions. This question is 2 parts. First, answer part A, then answer part B. Part A, in paragraph 7, Sir Kay says that Sir Ivaine is more polite than brave. Which statement below describes how Sir Ivaine tries to show that Sir Kay is wrong? A, Sir Ivaine wants to prove that he can be both kind-hearted and polite. B, Sir Ivaine wants to prove that he can defeat the Black Knight by himself. C, Sir Ivaine wants to prove that he can be brave after a good meal of venison. D, Sir Ivaine wants to prove that he can lead the company of knights. So what did Sir Ivaine do? And then which statement below best supports the answer in part A? Among Arthur's knights of the Round Table was one who was a mixture of good and bad, as indeed most people are. B, I have heard of this man, said the king, and have often thought of sending someone to punish him. C, Sir Kay, I crave your permission to set forth tomorrow to slay this pest in the land. D. It did not occur to him that in proving himself brave, he was also proving himself disobedient. Number 2, read the sentence from the passage. Sir Ivan was displeased. He thought that the adventure should be his alone. What does the prefix dis mean in the word displeased? A, over, B, not, C, again, D, under. Number 3, reread paragraph 13. How is Sir Ivan's response to the king's plan important to the theme of the story? A, it shows he thought the knights named by the king were cowardly. If you do not know what the word cowardly means, it means that you're afraid, that you're scared. B, it shows he thought the Black Knight could be defeated quickly and easily. C, it shows he did not think that good deeds should go unpunished. And D, it shows he did not think carefully about what he was about to do. So this is the main question. What did Sir Ivan do? The king had a plan. Sir Ivan did something different. And then what did he learn through his actions? So go to the end of the story and you think, well, what did he learn? Number 4, read the sentence from paragraph 20. Then Sir Ivan realized what his recklessness had cost him. Which 3 statements best describe how the consequences of Sir Ivan's actions support a story theme? So the consequences are basically what happened because he did something. A, Sir Ivan had learned how to win a fight. B, Sir Ivan needed to find a new company of knights. C, Sir Ivan had shown the king he was disobedient. D, Sir Ivan needed to prove himself again to the king. E, Sir Ivan had put his life in great danger. F, Sir Ivan would be embarrassed if he returned home. G, Sir Ivan would have little hope of escape. And that is our main lesson. And stay tuned for the answers.